Thank you very much. So I'm talking today about Enterprise 2030. The idea of Enterprise 2030 came during work that we accomplished last year for the Ministry of Infrastructure and Sustainability, which consisted in writing a guide for municipalities that enabled them to put up a structured inventory of sustainable initiatives on their territory and to classify them according to the targets of the SDGs, but also to measure them. What are the resources that are put in the initiatives, and what are the outcomes that contribute to the SDGs? So the starting point of Enterprise 2030 was the insight that classic CSR models do not really break through on the level of small and medium enterprises. Though we have a number of very good frameworks that allow us to organize and also to report on CSR, such as ISO 26000 or Global Reporting Initiative, also our national label from INDR, they all have in common that they have a very structured, well-structured and holistic approach on the triple bottom line of sustainabilities, and that they even provide metrics to measure. But they have some disadvantages. Especially for small and medium companies, they're very complicated. They need a lot of resources to implement. And they are also, they have different focuses, so it's a bit confusing. Which one should I use to implement my CSR strategy? And above all, they have, and there are some worst cases that I don't mention here, of greenwashing and social washing, because people are only seeing the objective of the marketing purpose of a report. What can I show what I'm doing good? And then in the end, and this is one of the most, the biggest arguments that I always see, that the term of responsibility really has a negative connotation. You must do something, not for your business, but for somebody else. So that's some of the reasons why we should, that there is a little acceptance for SMEs to implement CSR. So what was the idea? The idea was that, first of all, sustainability should be an opportunity, not a constraint. And then it's about shared values. Of course, when we do something to impact SDGs in a positive way, we create values, but we can also create values for the companies. And these are immaterial values like reputation, like risk avoidance, but can we also see that there are some opportunities to create monetary values, just to create new businesses, to have new revenues, or to reduce costs, or to get different an increase of productivity. And also, we have to stay on the activity of the company, not talking only about frameworks from CSR, but let's stay on the business itself and focus on action. Because if we want to change something, we have to do something, not only talk about intentions and nice frameworks where we all know what we should do, but let's do something. Of course, we have to measure it, because if you can't measure it, you cannot follow the evolution of it. And then we should use something that is universally recognized regarding the theme of sustainability, and the Agenda 2030 and the SDGs are really the best framework and to pilot and to communicate. So how does it work? It works in 3 steps. The first step is to map the value chain together with the company, to see what are the upstream activities like purchasing, research and development, what are the main activities, what are they producing, what service or what product do they produce, and what are the downstream activities like marketing, like sales, but like after sales and also the logistics, and what are the transversal supporting activities like IT, human resource management, and infrastructure. And then to identify what are the impacts on each step of the value chains. What are the impacts on what topics of sustainability, and what are the potential values that can be created, also for the company? In the next step, we analyze what is the current state, what are the actions that are taken already by companies, but because companies do lots of things. It's not that they begin at zero, but then to identify what are the steps of improvement, what can we do more, and finally to check what are the concrete actions that can be taken to be implemented, and then of course to measure them. Measure them, what are the resources that we need to fulfill them, what are we doing with the resources, and how do we measure the outcome? The outcome in terms of the impact on sustainability, but also the values that we create for the company itself. So I give you some examples. Let's take, for instance, production, where you have the potential of reduced energy, for instance. Then the action consists of regarding what are the investments that I have to put in this measure to have an output, for, let's say, for infrastructure or procedure, and then to see what are the shared values that I can create. For the company, the reduction of energy costs, and of course, the increase of reputation, and for the society, in terms of sustainability, the reduction of energy consumption and the reduction of greenhouse gases. And this is impacting, for instance, on the objective number 7, on energy, 9 on infrastructure, 12 on consumption, and 13 on climate change. Let's take HR management as one of the steps on the value chain, where you can think about training. And training, of course, needs investment in terms of money or in terms of labor, of hours. The output of it is the number of training courses that you organize, or the hours of training, and the shared values are, on the one side, for the society, the number of people trained and the increase of employability. You know, you create values for the society that they can use. And for the company, of course, it is an increase of productivity, and it has an impact on your employer branding. Last one? Okay. Let's take research and development, new product. We saw in the starting panel, the banking sector that are creating new products that are having a lot of impacts on different topics of the sustainability, and also create new opportunities to develop business. So we think that sustainability is really an opportunity, and it is, and it should be a driver for innovation. Thank you very much.